Welcome back to Next Generation. In today's video, we will be making
cabinet doors.
Hey,
this will be a first for us. I don't think we've ever made doors.
No, I don't think we have.
So I saw this really pretty cabinet on Amazon for $400. And I really wanted it, but I wasn't gonna spend $400 on a
No
cabinet.
way.
But then it dawned on me that we have a cabinet that's similar in size. We just needed some doors for it. So we're gonna use the $400 cabinet as inspiration to transform our 20-something cabinet into something beautiful.
I like that. All we need is doors.
So this cabinet is from Walmart. I think it was around $26. Something I like about these cabinets is you can adjust the shelves. So let's start with all the supplies that you're gonna need to make this.
We need some sort of wood for the door. We're gonna be using what's called beadboard and some trim.
We're using 1x2s for the trim.
Yep.
And the beadboard is a 1/4 inch thick because our cabinet is particle board.
Yeah.
So it's not very solid, so it's not gonna hold heavy doors.
Right.
So we wanted to go with a lighter option. But if you have a more solid cabinet, we would recommend using plywood.
That's what we wanted to use was furniture wood, but we're kind of limited. So first tip, when you're choosing your wood, especially the 1x2s, make sure that they're straight. A lot of the local hardware stores have crooked wood, unfortunately, unless you go to a lumber yard. And so you really want to make sure these are straight since they're going to be framing your doors. You don't want wonky looking doors.
Since the back of the beadboard is going to be the inside of your doors, you want to make sure that you're getting ones that are nice and smooth because you're going to be able to see both sides.
That's a good tip. We also need liquid nails, some sort of nails for our nail gun.
But if you don't have a nail gun, you can always use clamps.
Yep. For this project, we will be painting with a spray gun. So if not, good old paintbrush and a roller will do just fine.
You can either stain or paint it. Since we'll be painting, we're gonna prime it first. And to finish it off, you'll need some hinges. Since we have lighter doors, since they're only a 1/4 inch thick, we're going to use 2 hinges per door, so 4 total. And then we also got 2 handles to open the cabinet doors. That is everything you'll need. And then it's optional to add some kind of magnet to keep your doors closed so that they don't try to swing open on their own.
I'm not sure if we're gonna need it, but if our doors don't stay completely closed, we will be adding the magnet after the fact. So once you have your cabinet, we need to measure out the height and the width so that we know what size doors we're gonna be putting on here. The length and width of our cabinet is 6 feet tall by 2 foot 7 inches wide. We're gonna divide that in half. That puts us at about 1 foot and 3 inches.
We're gonna take a 1/4 inch off of the doors so that there's a little bit of a gap in between so we have room to open and close the doors. Actually from the height and the width, because we also don't want the doors dragging on the floor when we're opening them.
This is true.
So that everything opens nicely. Especially if you have a rug on the floor, you wanna be able to clear the rug when you open your doors.
All right, so we're ready to cut our doors. We're gonna be cutting just under 6 feet for the height.
Like a 1/4 inch smaller.
Yes, not a lot, just a little bit. And then also the width will be 1 foot 3 inches, but we want just slightly under that so we have that gap in between the 2 doors.
And we'll be cutting obviously 2 of those.
Yep.
And we're gonna use a circular saw for this since it's a pretty long cut. And we got a new tool. If you're following us on Instagram, you came with us to get it.
Yep.
But we got a guide for our circular saw, so our cuts will be nice and straight.
Yay, the moment I've been waiting for. A little taller.
Did you measure? Ooh, I like that.
Okay, sweet.
Yes. Okay, so that was perfect.
The doors worked perfecto.
That's a shock. Now that we have our doors cut out, we can cut our trim. So again, we're using 1x2s for this, and we're gonna measure and cut out each trim board so that it's custom fit on our door.
Yeah, we want to do it right the first time, not do it twice.
And we're gonna be doing 45-degree angles on this. With our miter saw, cut a 45-degree angle, place it on our door, and then we can mark where our next cut needs to be. And that's what we're gonna do for all 4 sides.
Yep.
And then we're also gonna add a board horizontally across the middle just for some extra.
A little extra decor, break up those long lines.
We had an extra scrap board that's a 1x4. So we're gonna use that, but you could always use your 1x2s so you don't have to purchase extra wood for this.
All right, we've got all of our cuts for the door, for the trim. We're ready to assemble, but yet we got one step first. Sanding. This is very important. You don't want rough edges when you go to paint. You don't want these little frilly wood splinters. None of that. So we're gonna sand everything before we assemble it.
And if you don't know how to use a sander, we have a video that we just posted on how to use a sander 101.
All right, we're gonna assemble the trim to the doors. What you wanna do first is add a bead of liquid nails, put it in place, and then either clamp it or nail it in place so that that liquid nails can dry.
Clamps are basically a second set of hands.
Yes.
So get you some clamps and you can do this on your own.
That's right, you don't need two people. So now we've got these little nail holes and we need to cover them. So we're gonna take some caulk, we're gonna fill those little nail holes, let that dry, and then we're gonna sand it nice and smooth to get it ready for painting.
You can always use wood filler instead, and then you can always use this if you have any gaps between your trim boards. So if any of your angles have little spaces or gaps, then you can fill them in so that it's all nice and smooth before we go to painting. So now that everything is ready for paint, I'm so excited. It's looking like doors. I'm so impressed.
I think the doors look really good. This being our first door.
I know, and they're gonna be under $80 total to build. We're gonna wipe everything down since it's full of dust from sanding.
Very important.
So that it's prepped for paint. And this will be our second time trying to use a spray gun. The first time didn't work out well.
No, it didn't work out well at all. It's time to do some paint spraying.
First we need to prime and then let that dry however long it says on the label, and then we can move on to painting. Can you guys guess what color we're painting it?
I know.
My shirt. So the spray gun started spraying all speckled like this. If y'all know why, let us know. Yet again, it's not working out for us, so we're gonna go ahead and paint with the paintbrush. Since this cabinet is a smooth material, we would recommend sanding it before painting so that it will hold the paint a lot better, because as you can see on this side, I painted it and then we touched it and the paint is just peeling right off. So sanding it is gonna help. Priming would also help, and we would also recommend using an oil-based paint. You see how after sanding it, you can see more of the board through it instead of this glossy paint? So that's what we're gonna have to do. I'm gonna sand all the paint off just so it has this more rough surface so the paint sticks to it. I'll be using the 80 grit sandpaper for this so it knocks the paint off quicker, and I can sand this thing as fast as possible. Here it is with all the paint taken off with the 80 grit. So I'm now gonna do 220 grit and just quickly go over it, because sometimes the sander will leave marks on the wood and you'll be able to see that when you paint it. So I'm gonna smooth everything out with a 220 grit, wipe everything down really well, and then hopefully the paint will stick. We'll see together. I would recommend taking this apart to sand and paint the sides. We wood glued it when we assembled it when we bought this years ago, so that's not an option for me. So I'm sanding and painting while it's on its side. This is the back of the cabinet with a giant glare on it. Since I have to wait for the cabinet to dry, I figured I might as well just quickly spray paint it black. So if you do see it at all, it won't be white. As you can see, I'm rubbing as hard as I can and nothing's happening. Whereas before, when I would rub it just a little, it would roll right off. Looks like it's all good. There's just some fingerprints from my sandy hands when I was sanding, but that worked. Thank God.
All right, it's time to install the hinges and the handles.
Last step.
The first thing we're gonna do here is install the hinges to the cabinet, and then we'll line up our doors to make sure that they're centered, and we're gonna install these doors. The doors look so good. They're gonna look great on the cabinet.
I can't believe this was a Walmart cabinet.
Oh my God, that's true.
These hinges are amazing. It came with a template, so you know exactly where to put your screws on the cabinet and where to put them on the door. The space you need in between. These are amazing, easiest hinges we've used. And we have yet to figure out hinges, and I think we're gonna figure them out today.
I think we said that last time too, that we were figuring out the hinges. Wait, you're like all up on my shit. Whoa! Look at that! Wow! Let me see it from afar. Oh my! Whose is that? Oh. Clearly, Jen just always thinks things look good and then breaks them. What the hell? What was that?
I'm trying to open it with no handle, so I pulled it. We need the handle so we can open it without pulling the thing down.
Alright.
So if you live somewhere where you get earthquakes or anywhere where you need your stuff extra secure, I would recommend putting a sheet of plywood on the back and attaching it to the cabinet and then screw it into studs into your wall.
So we've got our doors attached. They're opening and closing. Looks really good, but we need some handles. So let's go ahead and install the handles.
Rich's final thoughts on the cabinet doors.
It looks amazing. I can't believe we built that. Painted it black.
What'd you say it looked like before?
Piece of shit. Oh my gosh, we've got opening and closing doors. We've got a beautiful cabinet.
I think we've officially figured out hinges. It only took like 10 tries, but we're here now.
The only thing is the cabinet looks a little empty. Are you gonna go ahead and organize this?
Yes, so before, as you guys saw, some of our organizers didn't fit on the shelves. They were hanging off, so we needed to get new organizers. So we went to Dollar Tree and got a bunch of bins that are really pretty colors, so it all matches. And I'm just gonna add a bunch of these on the shelves to store all of our DIY stuff.
It's gonna look so good. And it's gonna actually be hidden within the doors, not some hanging off the shelves and some not. It looked really crazy and it's come a long way. What?
Wow.
Y'all.
I can't believe this
This is a
insane.
masterpiece.
I love it.
This is a masterpiece. We did a really good job.
Didn't have to spend $400 on it.
That's so true. This is $400 online and we made it for like 80 bucks. Huh?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So I hope you guys try it. If you do, tag us on Instagram. We would love to see what you recreate with this.
Yes.
Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye guys. Haven't been to our website yet? Click the website link below. Go check it out. Super cool website, but also
Project plans on how to build this cabinet. Step by step, all the measurements, the list of tools. We're gonna be doing this for lots of our DIYs, so if you're interested in just having some instructions you can read, then we're gonna have those on our website.